Walk with me on the devil's left way path, where we will take several turns along the way. This path is multifaceted, dark, light, and everything falling betwixt. Crooked our steps will be, for the witch's journey is never straight nor narrow. Greetings and salutations. I am Kindra Ravenmoon. Welcome to the Thorn Rose Witch podcast. Here is where we discuss a bit about everything that falls under the umbrella of dark spirituality, witchcraft, Satanism, devil worship, and all things related above, below, and beyond. I hope that you are all doing well. Before jumping into today's topic, I want to throw out a reminder that this upcoming Sunday, my Q&A video responding to viewer questions will be up at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. A big thank you shout out to everyone who emailed me. I appreciate your participation. Now, today's episode will touch on knowing if the devil has or is reaching out to you, and if you are of his chosen, or if you are what some currents of traditional witchcraft term as being of the witch blood. Know that when I say devil, it is a generalization to cover all of his titles, forms, and however you address him, be it from the standpoint of traditional witchcraft or Satanism. What I speak of here today holds for both traditional crafters or trad crafters, folkloric witches, and Satanists. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, it is my opinion that the devil chooses who is brought into his court, meaning that when compared to the enormity of the general populace, there is a small percentage of us who are chosen. Any human being upon this planet has the capability and the right to connect and commune with the devil. Anyone could eat from his fruit, but only his chosen reap from his offerings, at times almost effortlessly. And the chosen have certain gifts or abilities that one who is not of the chosen will have to work harder at to achieve or activate within themselves. More often than not, such abilities remain dormant or are minimal within the unchosen. I believe that those who are of the devil's chosen have a direct etheric link to the other world and underworld and draw inspiration from these wells. For many, even beyond the realization that this is where their concepts and creative achievements and genius feed from. Know that what I'm about to explain further here are my opinions formed through knowledge gained from varying traditional folklore, witchcraft beliefs and practices, along with things I learned from my experience as an initiate of Orthodox Satanism and based on personal gnosis and a metaphysical mindset. Now, the chosen are those who are inherently souls belonging to the other world, making them of the devil's bloodline current. And I say bloodline in quotations here, meaning that it is not your physical DNA that relates you, your spirit, or even your soul to the devil, but rather I believe it is the DNA of the soul itself, or spiritual DNA, if you will. That when we are incarnated into physical birth in this plane, a part of that spiritual DNA is carried forth within your being. And when the time is right, a portion of this spiritual DNA settles within the marrow of your bones. Some might call this bone memory or soul memory. I'll speak more on that. Well, more of that will be appearing in my upcoming expanded or revision, I should say, of Natural Satanic Witchcraft, which is coming out in the spring. Now, to carry on here, those who are inherently fated to the devil, who walk the crooked path or path of darkness, if you wish, the chosen, those of witch blood, often are introduced to the devil's energy in childhood, with the exception of those that, for whatever reason, and most likely due to some blockage during childhood, who come to know his presence either during adolescence or at some point in adulthood. In either case, it starts with exactly that, feeling a presence around you, even and especially when you're alone. Not all, but most who have experienced this during childhood at some point just before entering their teenage years. For some, it's even earlier, depending on when they first started feeling the presence. They forget their experience with it, and anything that involved communication from the devil, either through nature or dreams. Usually, the mundane world, with its complications and responsibilities that come with growing up, causes children to forget and lose their connection with the devil's spirit. And sometimes it's due to fear brought onto them through the religious faith of their families. But this doesn't mean that the devil has left them. When the time is right for the individual, the devil will let his spirit be known to them again in some way through music, poetry, art, film, etc. Or the devil might even try to reawaken you to his current through a friend who might introduce you to such things, or who might be a practicing Satanist or some form of witch. Whatever the case, and no matter at what stage of your life you are living after the phase of childhood, when the devil reaches back out to you, when his spirit gives you the opportunity to reconnect through your own free will, it will be through things you find yourself attracted to or suddenly curious about. I've heard both trad witches and Satanists recall similar experiences with this exact thing. I have a theory that even those who claim to have never experienced the devil or been attracted to witchcraft, the occult, or Satanism until way later in life, that the memory of the devil's presence from their earlier years has been blocked from their minds totally. And usually it does come back eventually when you start getting involved with these things or you realize the devil's reaching back out to you again. But certain individuals, it's totally blocked and they don't have that recall. And for that, for whatever reasons, they weren't ready to be open to see the signs as they grew older. If you are of the specific chosen, the devil will make himself known to you time and again and create distractions and disruptions in your life until you acknowledge the call or get on the path you were meant to be in order to do the work. I believe that to be chosen means that you are chosen to do the work. That is, to put something into the world, something worthy of the devil, to make a mark either through music, art, writing, or other means. If you are chosen, you are not meant to be an idle devotee or just an idle witch or whatever the case. There is nothing wrong with someone keeping to themselves and quietly honoring the devil, working with spirits, practicing witchcraft, or whatever else, and doing nothing more. We each have our place in the world, and it is all part of the ebb and flow of the whole, feeding into and taking from the current. But if you are of the chosen, You are meant to make a difference by creating some effect, even if it's even a small ripple effect in the world. Even if it is for a marginalized community, it doesn't matter. You are a carrier of flame, a conduit of the current. You are meant to pass on a piece of that flame, even if it's only to one other person. Not everyone will or is meant to be affected by it. Now, before wrapping this up today, here are a few signs that the devil is making himself known to you or could be making himself known to you, that he's reaching out or guiding you in some way, maybe trying to inspire something you're working on. First, number one, as already mentioned, you feel a presence or a force, especially when you are alone. You feel you're being observed. Depending on the situation, the presence might make you feel uncomfortable or extremely calm. You feel a power emanating from this presence or force, which it differentiates it from a spirit haunting. Number two, you suddenly start to have reoccurring vivid dreams or what seems like a lucid dream or basically lucid dream states or seems like a lucid dream like state continuously where the devil appears to you in some form, human, animal, or other. Or maybe even a familiar face appears in your dream, talking to you about the devil or mentioning something concerning the devil. You will definitely remember such dreams. Thirdly, and this is in no particular order, by the way, I'm just randomly put these out in the numbers they fall on. So, thirdly, suddenly the same song keeps randomly coming up, either when you're out and about in public or when you're chilling at home or working online. The track might be directly about the devil, or there's a message the devil wishes to relay to you through the song lyrics. Now number four, random imagery and even articles related to the devil randomly come into your view, even in the most atypical of places. If you work with tarot cards, the devil card might keep reappearing in your card pulls, even if you're pulling cards from multiple decks. Number five, you might suddenly feel as if there's a strong protective bubble or force around you. And while in that energy, your intuition is heightened and you have a strong knowing of who or what to avoid, what you can trust. You feel guided and inspired by this energy also. Number six, animals are more drawn towards you, and animals associated with the devil, particularly, keep appearing either in person or through random images, web pages, etc. Seven, you feel a strong inclination towards books, art or whatever the case related to the devil. You might feel a pull towards learning about the folkloric witchcraft or the folkloric devil, or suddenly develop a curiosity in Satanism and become highly attracted to this, or anything concerning the devil in general. And I'm talking about if maybe you never beforehand really cared much for these things, and then suddenly, or you had an interest, but then suddenly it's that strong urge pulling you more and more towards it. Number eight, random people throughout your day mention a name or title of the devil, or randomly bring up the topic of the devil. If this happens over a period of several consecutive days, or with a combination of all the already mentioned, take it as a sure sign that the devil is reaching out to you. And lastly, number nine, you can't get the devil out of your mind. You develop a compulsion to learn about him, or practice a form of witchcraft involving the devil, or you feel strongly strongly pulled towards straight out devil worship. Or maybe if you're an artist, you really feel inclined that you compulsed even that you must develop art surrounding the devil, related to the devil, of the devil. If you're a musician, you might be really pushed in the direction to writing songs about the devil suddenly. Or this has already happened to you before in life. But these are all signs of the devil calling out to you, or calling you back to him, even I should say. Basically, this is all I have for you with this episode. Take from it what you will. I hope I lent you some food for thought here. The next episode, we're going to explore the value of imagery regarding how we view and approach the devil and gods in general. Now, until then, my dears, I bid you darkest blessings under Lucifer's light.